Did you guys hear the news? Xbox Live is supposedly coming to Nintendo Switch. The reason this is being talked about actually is because Microsoft themselves has listed Nintendo Switch along with mobile devices and all of that for some sort of presentation they're doing at the Game Developers Conference in March. Now, the Game Developers Conference is often where you talk to obviously various developers, usually indie, but sometimes beyond that, about emerging technologies and new ideas and just making game development easier. Monday, March 18th is when GDC begins, and it ends on the 22nd. I'm not sure which day this event is occurring, but Xbox Live is going to be talked about in some form in relation to Nintendo Switch. Now, that's really all the information we have. The interesting thing about this, and why this might be a complete non-story, is because Xbox Live is already on Nintendo Switch. I'm not sure that you know this, but to play Minecraft, you have to log into Xbox Live. So Xbox Live's on Switch, and it's entirely possible whatever part Switch plays in this, in regards to the Game Developers Conference, might literally just be Minecraft related. So again, it could be a non-story, but it might not be. And that's why I'm talking to you about it today. Because obviously, we know Nintendo and Microsoft have had a lot of nice words said about each other. Obviously, the Better Together update, Nintendo was on board with that day one. Nintendo allowed Xbox Live to be on their platform and a lot of this stuff. So, some people are reading into this and inferring from it that Xbox Live itself is going to be on Nintendo Switch as they try to look to expand the user base. Now, this obviously would not be something that replaces the Nintendo Switch Online service. Nintendo would never consider something that replaces that. But it is possible that this could be a setup for something down the line. That you might be like, well, without using their online services, why would you need Xbox Live on Nintendo Switch? And the answer to that is streaming. The answer to that is so obvious. No, they're not going to charge you for Xbox Live on Switch to play games online. That would be dumb. That's what the Nintendo Switch Online service is for. That would be directly competing. But for Xbox Live to be on there as a pathway to Xbox releasing their streaming service on Switch, now that is where things get really interesting. Nintendo obviously is not in position or has interest in setting up their own streaming service of any kind, and we do know they are not against game streaming on the whole. They have been allowing game streaming with 2 different games now already in Japan, so if a third-party company wants to do it, Nintendo won't stop it. And if that company happens to be Microsoft, and through their streaming services, how we get all the Assassin's Creeds, all the Call of Duties, all those big third-party games on Switch that we just wouldn't get otherwise, I gotta say, that, to me, is a pretty enticing ideal and also shows how well these services could work together. Now, Xbox Live, while you wouldn't be paying for like the Xbox Live Gold or anything, whatever streaming service they might run through Xbox Live, that would obviously cost consumers money if they'd want to use it. Now, again, this is just mostly speculation because they haven't said that's what this service is going to be, and it's speculation in so much that we aren't even sure that this means anything more than what Xbox Live already is on Switch. But it is notable that like they've been using Xbox Live on Switch with Minecraft for, almost 2 years. And, well, I mean, it wasn't, they didn't mention it at last year's GDC when they talked about Xbox Live. So the inclusion of Switch this time around and the premise it seems to be about expanding the user base seems to suggest there is something happening with Xbox Live on Switch that's different than we've seen so far, which means not just Minecraft related, and hence why I kind of went to the streaming route, because I feel like that is the one thing Microsoft could provide to the Switch platform that would make a hell of a lot of sense for Microsoft, because it's just more consumers to buy into their streaming service. Why would they not want to do that? And it makes a lot of sense for Nintendo, so they don't have to bother with setting up their own streaming service when they have issues themselves just getting their games playable online through their own online networks. So I honestly think that this is kind of one of those win-win situations if that's the route it's taken. Now, obviously, some people really want to hope that like it's just going to replace the Nintendo Switch Online service. That's not going to happen. Nintendo is not giving up that revenue stream, even if they charge Microsoft a 50% cut of any live subscription through the Switches, to come to them. It's not going to happen. That's not how it's going to work. So Again, there's just a lot of speculation. We don't know. Obviously, with Game Developers Conference of March, we're a bit away from finding out. But I'm pretty excited to see what, if any, plans Microsoft and Nintendo have worked out in conjunction with each other for Switch. Because as I said, I've liked streaming services. I think they're great. As long as they don't replace physical games, I'm cool with them existing. And yeah, if this is a way to get a working streaming service that's reliable on Switch, I'm all for it. I think it's great. I would be playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now on my Switch if we had the streaming service available here in the U.S. for it. So pretty exciting stuff. And it's also nice to see Nintendo and Microsoft working so closely together too, because this could just be the start of a more fruitful relationship down the line. Especially if one of the companies ever has to dip out of the hardware business, it could just really create a nice meshing of worlds together, decades down the road. So, again, this is just really, really neat. And obviously we know Sony is no way in hell going to let it happen on their platform. So it's kind of something that the Switch might have all to itself when it comes to platform that's not Microsoft controlled for this kind of service. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think about my idea and my concept and what I think this might be, since Microsoft is launching their streaming service this year. Or do you think I'm just way off base? Or do you think this is a whole lot of nothing, that people are just going to, they're finally going to just add new features for Minecraft through Xbox Live or something? I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. I am Nathaniel Rufflejans from Nintendo Prime, and oh boy, it feels good to be back. It feels good to be alive. Life is great. Everything is wonderful. And yeah, this is the only video that's technically recorded today, that's coming out today. But we'll be back at our normal business tomorrow. No live stream tonight. Sorry about that. I am taking my fiance on a date night, a long overdue date night. So whatever. We'll be back. There'll be live streams this week. I promise. At some point, we will live stream this week. All right, folks. Be sure to enter our Nintendo Switch Super Smash Bros. Ultimate giveaway through the Gleam.io link down in the description. I love all you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.